Hello, everyone. So, for this art activity this week, we're going to do something called looping lines. And this activity is an exploration of how line and color and pattern and space all work together to create a composition. So, let's start with what kinds of lines do we know? Shout some out, kids. What are some we know? We know straight lines. Yeah. Good. Curvy lines. Good. We know curvy lines. Hey, yeah, we can keep that going. We can turn that into a wavy line. Or I can make that sort of sharper and go a zigzag line. What else is there? Oh, right. Which way are the lines going? So there are horizontal lines and vertical lines and diagonal lines. Absolutely. We can make our lines thicker and we can make our lines thinner. Absolutely. So these are all different kinds of lines that we can use when we are making art. And what's great is that when we put those lines together in a repeating pattern, so when we make it repeat again and again and again, we create a pattern. So for instance, if I take this zigzag line and I put it like that, and then I put another zigzag line right next to it, and another one right next to that, and another one next to that, and another one next to that, I am suddenly creating a pattern, right? That is repeating. And so we can use those for our composition. So, how is our actual art piece going to work? So, we're going to start by choosing any spot on the paper, and we're just going to we're going to use our either a black marker or a dark marker, and we're just going to start and then just start creating a line. And we're going to let it it's almost like we're letting it take a nice curvy walk around the page. And sometimes it's going to loop over itself and it's going to cross over. Sometimes those loops are going to be bigger. Sometimes those loops are going to be smaller. Sometimes it's going to crisscross over itself. And we're going to just really explore all the parts of the page. And then to finish, we're going to make sure we end up where we started. So it creates sort of one continuous looping line. And as you can see from that, we've created a series of closed shapes. Some are bigger, some are smaller. And what we're going to now do is use our other markers to fill in those closed shapes that we have created. So for instance, I might take a marker and I might fill this one in with a solid red, like so. But maybe I might want to use some of those patterns we talked about and fill these little bubbles or loops in with patterns instead. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and do a series of horizontal lines to fill in this loop. And maybe in the loop right next to it, I'm going to create a pattern with vertical lines. And I'm going to continue to do that for all these closed shapes. Maybe this one is going to have, what should we give it? How about maybe some curls? And this is what we can do with just each of these bubbles that we come up with. Now, I'm not going to do, first of all, I'm not going to do this whole thing because this video would take a very, very long time. But I'm also not going to fill in all of my bubbles. Sometimes we want to leave some empty or negative space to really make these other places that we filled in really pop, okay? Now, some of you might not have a full range of colors or markers to work with. That's okay. This is an activity you could do just with a pen. So I'm going to show you a piece that I did using just pen. So you can see here that just using one color but using different patterns, I was still able to create an interesting composition with some negative space and then some filled in space. I can't wait to see what everybody creates. Do a few for yourself. I think you'll find it's also a really relaxing activity. Parents, if you're watching, it is a great way for everybody to just chill out and draw together. When you're done, take a picture and email it to your teacher. Can't wait to see what you make. Have fun, everybody.